When this outrageous Kamala supporter claimed that California is better than Florida, Charlie Kirk didn't even have to debate her. He just used her own logic to make her accept defeat instantly.
So you believe because Kamala is black and a woman, she was chosen for
It's not
vice
my own
president?
belief.
Yes.
Joe Biden said that.
He
Because
did say
beforehand,
that.
he said, I'm going to choose a black female for vice president. So he said, I'm going to choose a black female. And so by definition, that is DEI.
That is not the definition of DEI.
Well, what is DEI then?
DEI would be,
Choosing somebody based on their race?
no, it's giving people of color the opportunity to be welcomed into spaces in which they typically
Like Kamala
aren't
Harris?
able to get
There's
into.
never been a female black
Welcoming black people into spaces which they typically are not welcomed into. DEI is making sure black people are welcomed into spaces where they are not typically invited into. She only likes it when she says it. She don't like when Charlie Kirk repeats it back to her.
people of color the opportunity to be welcomed into spaces in which they typically
like Kamala
aren't
Harris.
able to get
There's
into.
never been a female black vice president.
And why do you think that is?
Well, not why. You just said that's DEI.
That-
So by definition, she's DEI.
Okay, so she
So
represents that diversity within the government,
Well,
is
no, but
what
I'm
you're
just saying
saying.
she got elevated because she was
No.
a black female. Because
If that were the case, I'd be the president right now.
do you,
Okay, that's so stupid. The young lady, who in the hell taught you that? That's so dumb. You the one said DEI is when we welcome people of color into spaces that they usually are not invited into, like being we've never seen them in, like being a president or being a vice president or being in their mind, doctors, lawyers, whatever, but people just don't look like but that's exactly what Biden said when he was on the Breakfast Club. He said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. And Charlamagne the God said, well, we will back you, but you got to do this one thing. You got to make sure that you have a black woman running mate. If you put a black woman on a ticket, we will back you. He said, well, you got it. All right. So that right there is DEI in and of itself.
president?
And why do you think that is?
Well, not why. You just said that's DEI.
That-
So by definition, she's DEI.
Okay, so she
So
represents that diversity within the government,
Well,
is
no, but
what
I'm
you're
just saying
saying.
she got elevated because she was
No.
a black female. Because
If that were the case, I'd be the president right now.
do you
like,
think, do you think Kamala Harris was chosen because of her intelligence?
her qualifications and her intelligence?
Really? Wow. What's her greatest
Probably
accomplishment?
being prosecutor within the Northern Californian
Oh, really? You
area.
mean letting out violent criminals and turning San Francisco one of the most dangerous, arson-filled, homeless-filled slums in the country?
Wow.
That's her greatest accomplishment? Do you think her overseeing San Francisco becoming the laughingstock of the country is
San
her greatest
Francisco is not
accomplishment?
the laughing stock of the country. If anything, that's Florida. No offense, but
Well, hold on. If that's the case, why are millions of people moving to Florida and millions of people leaving California?
because there are cheaper rates there.
Why are
That's a great point, Charlie. Hold on, guys. Y'all following, right? Here's the thing. When you have conversations with people who do not want to have a conversation of understanding, they remove all objectivity because their only point is to make a point. They don't care about understanding your point. They want to make a point. And if I can't make a point, I'm going to make sure that you don't make a point. They're volleying back and forth with one another, not to hear each other, not to grow from the conversation. But this is absolutely weird that you have someone who considers themselves to be intelligent making this argument. It's ridiculous.
Florida, no offense, but
Well, hold on. If that's the case, why are millions of people moving to Florida and millions of people leaving California?
because there are cheaper rates there.
Why are they cheaper? Because they're better run states.
What does this have to do with DEI?
Because she ran San Francisco poorly and she was chosen as a VP because she was a black
She
woman.
didn't-
The attorney general of the state is the top cop of the state.
Yes,
And what did she do to lower crime in California?
she convicted those who were guilty.
Why did crime go up?
Shout out to Charlie Kirk. Shout out to Charlie Kirk for always having these conversations that we need to be having and making sure that these young people are held accountable for their points of views. Now, I will like to say this. I love that young people are having these conversations. I don't particularly love their point of view, but back to Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell said, when you're young, you're expected to be a liberal because you want everyone to win. You want everyone to participate. You have a heart for everyone, lacking logic on why that can't happen. When you get older, you become more conservative. So they say a young person who's not a conservative has no heart. A young person who's not a liberal has no heart, and a older person who's not a conservative has no brain. Let me know how y'all feel about that with a thumbs up, 100, or a thumbs down. They say a young person who's not a liberal has no heart, and an older person who's not a conservative has no brain. Because the older you get, the more you understand about life, country, the more you understand about everything that you worked for, everything that you're working for, your taxes. And apparently, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, they're saying that when America was first established, we were established on the guys that we would not pay taxes, that we didn't want to pay taxes. Like, taxes was not something that we were going to do. We actually fought against that. People died fighting against that. But now, who has the highest taxes? Democrat-run cities and states. Who has the most crime? Democrat-run cities and states. If that's wrong, somebody correct me. Because like I said before, when it comes to this stuff, I'm a novice in politics. I'm just now paying full attention. And I'm one of those people that don't mind having the conversation. I'm going to have the conversation. I'm going to hear you out. I'm going to acknowledge the points that you make. But I don't expect for you to acknowledge the points that I make, because that's just not how people communicate anymore. Everybody wants to win. I don't know why. Maybe it makes you feel good when you go back to your friends, your relatives, you go in your own little private circles over the internet or in person, and you get to say or feel like you bested someone who is good in these areas. I don't want to have those I don't think we can get anywhere that way. I think we're better off having the conversations. If you say something that makes sense, then I will acknowledge that and I will look into it. I will even tell you right there, that's a great point. That's a great point. Or even if you point out something that I said that makes no sense and you explain to me why it makes no sense, I will acknowledge that too. But sometimes we get so high on our high horse that we don't want to do anything that makes us look less of a hero. And that's ridiculous, man. That's all ego, if you ask me. That's all ego. We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have. Trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing. We have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace.